Please state the nature of the medical emergency.
Alright, so we're loading into a new game with just the alternate start turned on. We're going to test this out. I'm just going to take whatever they give me. That's fine. Matter of fact, maybe we'll go to, we'll go to him. That'll be fine, just so he looks different, so we know he's different. And we'll just call him. He can be Joe. Hey, Joe. What do you know, Joe? Come on, Joe. So, now here, that's all we have. We haven't done anything else. Just going to add a save here. Alright. I'm a new member of a guild, yes. Let's see, we should be the Thieves Guild, okay. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to do a save here. And we're going to go. Now we should appear in the Ragged Flagon. And we should be able to walk back there and see if that bookcase is there. Alright. This shouldn't take long, and... Okay. Alright, hold on. Now that makes me think that that's added by the what's the name of that? Cutting room floor? Okay, so this is the shelf with all its stuff. Hold on a second. Let me see what this thing is doing. It's just doing that. It's just saying, yeah, we did that. Okay, we're doing this. Okay. Fine. Okay. So this is what I expected. This is how I thought the vanilla game was there's a wall and that. Now, I do not even have the cheat room, so I do not have a clip ring to walk through that. I do have leather stuff. Matter of fact, if we look at my guy, he should be, yeah, there we go. He's all outfitted in leather. Ooh, fancy. Nonetheless, okay. Joe, we're going to make a save here. Alright, so we're going to go and turn on a few mods at a time until we figure this out. So, let's hop out of here. We'll come back to Joe in a minute. I think what we'll do is we'll do the patch first and see what the patch does. Going backwards in the other game, I went through all the mods all the way up the list, and I never got rid of that bookcase or those shelves. It could be there is not a mod here that does that. Maybe there's no mod in this list that really removes those, but I would have thought if the cutting room floor opened that up, that it would also remove the shelves. That's just my thought, though. I don't have a high-level thief in this game to check that out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the patch, because this patch just does the patch, right? It shouldn't really make a difference. But I'm going to do it in the cutting room floor individually and just check, okay? We'll just kind of try to figure this out a little bit at a time. So, you know what? I'm going to shoot us straight in. I'm going to be bold and brave, and I'm just going to take us straight in. No, I should really do a reset. So, hold on. I'll be back in a... Nope. There it is. Okay, so the patch opens this up, and it dumps all this stuff here, and it puts the shelf back here. Okay, so that's what happens with the patch. I am going to hop out though and do a reset and see if there's a difference. So bear with me, I will be back in a moment. Okay, so after the load and the reset, we still have the same. It dumped the contents here, and it moved this back here, and the patch opened up this little room. Okay, so that's what the patch did here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go, I'm not going to resave. We're going to keep using this save. We're going to go back. We're going to turn on the cutting room floor and come back in. See, it's some combination of things that's occurring here that's messing up Conan's game. Now, Conan's game, we may need to restart with a new Conan. It could be that that is just baked in and we can't get around it. So whatever caused that issue and caused the shelves to stay there and be in the way, it could be that that's baked in now and that we can't get rid of it. Just repeating that because sometimes that happens. If something went wrong, maybe in turning mods off and on and changing things during play, you know, I could have easily created that situation. So sometimes when that happens, and that appears to be the case here, then we just need to start a new game, and we can do that. We can take Conan and get rid of him and do a new game. That'll be fine. We could even start a new game here with Joe, since Joe is here, and it wouldn't hurt anything, but that wasn't my intent. And we could turn on all those mods with Joe's game, which would be another test, and see what we get. But for right now, I want to turn on the cutting room floor and see what effect that has. It may or may not have any effect, but I want to find out. So now for this, I am going to do a quick reset just to be safe. So I will be back in a minute. Alright, so with the cutting room floor on, and we're still on Joe, if you remember Joe, it looks like everything stayed the same. So it appears that most likely in Conan's game, you know, turning some things off and on, moving some mods in and out, we probably glitched out that shelf so that it was not put back here where it belongs. And of course, even when we did it here, the belongings got left in the floor, but that's okay. You can walk through that. Whereas if the shelf is left there, you're blocked out. So let's try, this is Joe's game. Let's try turning all the mods on and see what we get, okay? I'm not going to do a save. I'm going to stick with the same save we've been using. We're going to turn all the mods back on and see what we get. And we may have to start a new Conan game to continue. So bear with me. Actually, we can go to the mods. Oh, wait, that's going to be a long load. So just hold on. I'll be right back. Alright, so let's come in here and let's turn everything on for Joe's game the way we had it for Conan. We'll do a reset and we'll reload. Now we had all of this turned on. Quite a bit was turned on for Conan's game, but I think what we probably did was we probably glitched the ragged flagon out. With so many mods being turned off and on in all our testing, we probably just messed that up. So what we're going to do is we're going to start, well, basically we're going to start over. We're going to keep the mods that we've tested and keep everything active. We're not going to change that. But we are going to start a new game for Conan. And we'll just start over from there. I don't remember how far I was down here. I think we had done that. We did the condenser. We did the lanterns. Hadn't done that yet. We did do the keys. We did do the beehives. We did the perk point. I don't think we had done that yet. Is this the, I don't know, this isn't the skimpy one, is it? I think this is just the normal one. I don't think you had a skimpy thing, so I didn't turn that on. I'm gonna leave that off for a minute. We'll probably turn it on in a minute when we do somebody new. Matter of fact, I might turn on all these armors and stuff. Most of them are not going to be any real problem. The same with the wearable lanterns and stuff. Those shouldn't really cause any issue. We're going to turn Vision back on. I will turn the Professor back on and Geo. Let's see, we'll turn these on. Okay, now we hadn't tested some of this out yet. We were trying to take our time. Going to turn that back on. And turn that back on. We'll turn our patches back on. Okay, and we're good. Most things, now we have it where most things are turned on. There's still some things we want to test, but most things are turned on. And if this works out, I may come in and turn on some of these armors, because I don't think any of them are going to crash the game. They usually do not. This simply lets you craft something, so that should be fine. Okay. Which, by the way, you don't really need this. I think with immersive followers, which you're planning on using, you don't need this at all, because with immersive followers, you can set your follower to be either protected or not. So yeah, that's not even really necessary. So, alright, I'm going to tell you that. It's not necessary. You don't need this. Because immersive followers let you do that. But if for some reason you prefer this, I guess you can keep it, but you don't need it. I'm just going to tell you, you don't need it. I don't think it really hurts anything. I think in Cheat Room you can actually with the Cheat Room you don't really even need, the Cheat Room will allow you also. It gives you a cheat spell. You could turn their status off and on. So okay, so we're going to stop at this point. We're going to load Joe up and see if this wrecks the room in the ragged flagon where he is. So let's, I'm going to do a reset and I will be back in a minute.
The new configuration is stable.
Alright, so I just hit continue. So we should be loading Joe up any moment now. And we'll see where the bookcase or the shelves are. There we go. Now, mind you, I just turned all those mods back on, so that's just the way it is. So I have seen these outfits. You can make these outfits, and maybe I should play around with that a little bit. But the problem is they want you to make those paints too, and I'm not familiar with those. Okay, look at that. We just put the problem back. Look at that. We recreated the problem that easy. Okay. Alright, so that's great in a way. Because that means if we can create the problem, we should be able to uncreate it. Now this game, I think, is trying to do an autosave. I don't know. It said it was saving. Yes, it did. It saved right there. I didn't save that. I didn't save that. Yeah, I did. That with the wall, I saved that. That without the wall, I did not save. Okay, so we're going to get rid of this save because I did not do this save. I'm going to keep that save because that save shows the vanilla game. It shows the wall and the shelf and all there. So let's try. I'm going to try loading again from that game. Let's see what we get. Okay, so one of our mods is causing this issue. Okay. That means we should be able to get rid of it. I don't know why I couldn't get rid of it before, though. Maybe it's because I'd already saved it and was baked into that save. But in this case, we know it is not baked in, because I did not allow it to. Alright. So I'm going to go and take us back. One of these mods is doing this, and I don't know which one. We're going to go and take it back, and we're going to find out. So, I'm going to go back. We're going to turn all the mods off again, except we're going to keep the patch and the cutting room floor and alternate start. We're going to keep those, and we're going to reload. And this time, I think what we're going to do is we're going to turn on 10 at a time. Because, see, I think Conan's game was already corrupted, and that can happen with the way I've been doing things. So I want to see what mod is causing this to happen. And I want to do it before I do any save. I don't want to save with that there. And you'll notice it did some sort of autosave there. I did not do that save with the opening behind it and the shelf there. Now, I did on Conan. Okay, so first off, I'm just going to turn them all off. And because I'm only going to turn those 3 on, we're going to reload again and prove that that is correct. You know, for it to be, for it to just flip off, 100 and some mods, that takes a very long time. It shouldn't take that long. Alright, so we're going to turn this and this on and alternate start. We're going to turn that back on. Okay, I'm going to leave everything else off again. We're going to let it, do I want to let it reload? I think I'm going to have to do a reset because we just had all those turned on. So let me do that and I will be right back. Alright, so this is just to prove we're loading back into Joe's game with just those 3 mods on, just the patch, the cutting room floor, and the alternate start. Aha, and everything is back the way it was. This is normal, okay. So now, without creating any other load, we're going to stick with this load. If we accidentally create any other load, I'll remove it. But we're going to stick with this loaded game right here. We're going to try to recreate the problem by turning on the mods so many at a time. How many? It's a good question. There's a number of different ways I can do this. I think the fastest is just to turn on like 20 mods, just the first 20 mods, and just load in and see what we get. And see if the problem's there already. So it's a pretty big test, but it'll move us along. And I'm not going to do a reset because I think this is not like a texture issue or something like this. This item is actually being moved, so I think it is something else. So I want to find out what mod is moving that. And that's probably the mod I'm going to get rid of, depending on what it is. The other option, I wouldn't drop the patch regardless, because the patch fixes so many things. Otherwise, you could just live with it if you really want that mod. But let's see which mod it is first. That's always an issue. You know, even when a mod creates a little, you know, we'll call it a glitch or whatever, you can still choose to do whatever you want. That's 10. That's 20. So I'm going to do 20, and I'm going to come down here, and I think I need to turn a couple of patches on. Alright, I'm going to hop out. Again, not doing a reset because I don't think it's going to matter in this case. If I'm wrong, I'll just have to redo this. This is one of those goofy things you find and you want to understand why it's happening. And it takes a lot of time to figure it out. And I think once we get past some of these goofy little things, though, I think the game overall is shaping up. Now, I know some people were saying just to trash it and give up on it. Oh, it is one of these. It's one of these. Okay, so it's one of those first 20. Great. Hold on. I want to make sure this doesn't save. Good. It did not create a new save. Good. Okay, so it's one of these first 20. We're going to quit out. We're going to turn off the last 10. Oh, okay, hold on. I have something I have to do, so I will be back as soon as I can be. Alright, so I'm going to have to cut it short today. Just a lot of stuff going on. Anyway, but 8, 9, 10. However, I want to turn off about half of those mods we turned on. Then I can check and see which one, you know, if we're in the first 10 or the last 10 are causing. I'm going to turn our patches off too. I think we turned both of those off, didn't we? So I'm going to turn those patches off, and I turned off these last 10 mods. So we're going to do a quick load and see what happens with that, that shelf, that bookcase, and see if it goes back to where it should be, which means our suspect would be down in this area. Or is it going to end up, I can't imagine it's going to be in these. I imagine our suspect has to be down in this area. But why any of these would affect that, I don't know. I wonder if, does this do something I don't know about, or this? This is pretty suspect because it affects things. So, you know, it affects objects and furniture. So, alright. I'm gonna hop out and do a reset and go back in. Let's see what we get out of that. This could tell the tale for us, so I will be back in a minute. Alright, so now we're loading Joe's game with 10 less mods. You know, I wonder if it's that furniture placer. You know, that furniture placement mod, because I wonder if that mod... Yeah, I wonder if that's not it. Because, you know, that mod could affect furniture throughout the entire game, depending on what they do. So that could be a mod that's going to conflict with a lot of other things. Let me hop out of here. Let's take a look at our load order again. So I bet that's the mod that's doing it. If you think about it, what it's doing, if I understood it properly, it's allowing you to pick up furniture and move furniture. So it probably is controlling where a lot of furniture is, and that could easily make its way out of just the player homes into the rest of the world, and then it might conflict with other mods. So I could see that easily happening. Me and the toaster are going to play in a few minutes, so I was trying to finish this up because I felt like we were really close to figuring it out since I made a new game and started this with Joe. Hey, Joe, what do you know, Joe? Come on, Joe. Let's go, Joe. Okay, that's all I got. Cup of Joe. Cup of Joe, eat it, Joe's. Do you notice how all the cartoons used to have eat it, Joe's? I always wanted to have a little cafe somewhere that was Joe's so I could go there and eat. Eat it, Joe's. It's part of the stupidity of life, right? Okay, you know what? We have a suspect, okay? I don't see how the rest of these would ever affect furniture. I'm just going to say it. How would the rest of these affect furniture? I don't see that happening. So I'm going to bet that it's this. So I'm just going to turn this on. We're going to load up Joe's game and see what happens. This does make sense. Honestly, I wasn't sure about that mod anyway because I don't know. With that mod, I don't know. I've never seen that mod. I don't know that mod, but let's just, you know what? Let's just pop into the game and see where that thing is. This may or may not prove it since I didn't do a reset, but sometimes some things will go ahead and work. Yep. There you go. It is. It's the furniture. Yeah, we're going to drop that mod. That mod is going to conflict with anything that moves. Like any mod that edits and moves furniture around, it's going to conflict with that. So, let me make sure we didn't create a new save. Good. So we're just going to hop out of here. And this is going to be the last thing for today, even though we didn't get as far as I wanted. Just things have come up and it's just life, you know, the way things go. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of that mod. Okay, I know that's another mod we're eliminating, but if it is not allowing us to move furniture around in the world, if it's actually making things static that other mods need to move, then that's not going to work to our advantage. That's going to work against us. So we're going to remove that mod, and that means probably now in Conan's game, you know what, we'll try to load Conan's game and see if we can get around it. We'll see. Just give me a minute. Let's go in and disable this mod and remove it. I kind of wondered about that mod anyway. The idea is cool and it sounds good like in your house or something. But if it's going to affect other mods and where things are placed, yeah, then it's getting out of the zone where I want it. I want it to stay just inside the player homes, but it looks like it's affecting things outside of there. And for that reason, I would suggest not using that mod, because there's no reason that mod should affect anything in the Ragged Flagon, because you don't own the Ragged Flagon. You never own the Ragged Flagon. None of it's ever yours. So, it's not a big mod. I don't think you're really going to miss anything huge. If you really want to try it, you can try it if you can live with the idea that every now and then you're going to find something that blocks you out. But for my purposes, that does not lead to a good, smooth game. So we're going to remove it. Because my intention is to have a good working game. I don't know why the picture for this mod never shows up. It just does not want to show up. So we're going to try to we're just going to see if Conan's game will be fixed by this. I'll load to a slightly earlier save, and we'll see what we can do. Now, we had quite a few mods turned on, and we were doing pretty good before we got distracted. But you know me, if I see something like that, I have to either fix it or get rid of it or something. I can't have that. I just can't say it's a good game or it's a good load order or anything if I have problems like that. If I know about it. Now, if I don't know about it, like if I had just walked past that and never noticed it, okay, then you could just say, well, you doofus, you didn't notice it. And I'd be like, yeah, I didn't notice it, yeah. But in this case, I'd already seen it. I had to try to work it out. Let's see, we did turn on some of these. Let's see. I did that. We did the beehives and that. We hadn't done any of that yet. We were waiting to do that, so we're going to wait still. We did do pigeon, because some of the ladies were looking good. Let's see. We did do the professor and Geo, and we did some character mods. Try to make our folks look good. Come on. And we did Skyland for fun, and we did the Embers, because I like the Embers now. You might see those mods in my game. We did use XP32 because you should always have that on. I turned it off only for the testing purposes, not for any other reason. I'm going to tell you, someone made a comment about FPS improvers and things that are supposed to help your game and that they don't work. I tend to agree and believe with that, but however, I just want to see if this mod will actually just be here and not cause any trouble. I don't know if it will actually do anything to help your FPS. Now, it may slow down your kill moves, which might be cool for you to take pictures, but I don't know that it really is going to improve your FPS. However, if you want the slowdown to be able to take pictures, that's fine. I don't know. I don't ever use things like that anymore. Even in Fallout, I've taken out some things like that. My only thing is I don't like God rays. I don't like lens flare. But I have my reasons for that. It tends to give me headaches. So, but I've gotten to where I just leave it in. I try to just deal with it. Oh, patches. We need that taken care of. All right. So this is everything for Conan's game. Now I'm going to pop out. I have to do a reset because this is so big. And we're just going to check Conan's game and Joe's game. Nah, maybe we'll just check Conan's game. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I decided to load up Conan's game. I'm hoping this isn't baked into his save. I decided to load it up where he just came in to the Ragged Flagon. Now, if that is baked into his save, it may still be there, and I may need to reload to an earlier save. But let's see what happens. So that's another mod gone, by the way. So that's another mod that we've kind of eliminated. Now, this one was not causing crashes. It's not that it caused any crash. It's simply that if it is moving furniture around and working against other mods that we want to work for us, then, then I don't want that. So that's all. It's the only reason we're doing that. Oh, does this mean the professor's back with me? Oh, there he is. Well, that's okay. Look at that. I think it's open. Ta-da. It's open. And all the junk is in the floor back here. Well, I'm okay with that. Okay. So there we go. We did a good job. We got it done. So that was our problem. Oh. I don't want to talk to you, honestly. Oh, completed, talk to. Good. Thank you. Bye. Yes. Alright, so we got Hulda back. Let's see, we still can't get in here. That's right. So, it looks like there wasn't a Mystic Condenser here to look at. There might be at a later time, or if we can get into the cistern back there, it might be back there, but it's not here, so we don't have access to it right now. So we're going to call it good on the Mystic Condenser search. And ta-da, Conan's game is back in good shape. It's still not crashing. That was not the problem. But the problem was we couldn't get where we needed to go. Now we can get there. So I'm going to hop out here. Just do a quick rundown of what we have not done. And next time I will get into some of these other mods and we'll turn these on, because a lot of them, probably the biggest part of what we have left is armor and weapons. I'm not going to test all that stuff, but I do want to be able to turn it on and go and have us play the game. We're at a point now I'm almost tempted to turn on everything, but I want to do a good review before I do that, so it's not going to happen right now. So let's see, is there anything else? I think right now the game is basically okay now, and in a cursory sense, things seem to be working okay. However, there could be more problems like we just found with this furniture thing. There could be more little problems like that. Oh, thank you so much, Bethesda. I really appreciate that. Anyway, there could be more little problems like that that we haven't noticed. And I may not notice all of them. I'm not going through everything. We'll try that again. I'm not going through every little thing, but I am trying certain things here and there to see if they work and see what's going on. So, if we find more little things like that, we'll work on it. And if we don't, then of course we won't. But I'm going to pick up from here next time since Joe helped us figure that out, and Conan's game still looks good. It's not baked into his save, at least not at this point in his latest save. So we're going to just continue on from there. And wow, Bethesda, really? Come on. I'm going to give him one more try. And then we'll turn on some of those other mods, and we'll go ahead, where we were getting ready to go play, we were getting ready to go down into the first dungeon over there, Bleak Falls Barrow. We can always load that back up and go back there. Okay, I'm just going to go to the load order. I know you don't get the pictures or the good names, but you can still tell what's what, and most of this stuff is turned on now. Some things I'm probably never going to try, like the lockpicking and stuff. If I get tempted, I might, or get tempted. That's not really the right word. Anyway, I'm going to turn on, though, get more forges and smelters and test traveling around to the towns, because I feel like that could be a risk. These others, the armors and things like that, I think those are okay. I've tried the children thing, and it's good, so I think it'll be okay. This one, I can remember playing around with it, but I'm not sure. Skybirds, I'm not familiar with. So some of these things we're just going to have to play around with and see what we get. But a lot of stuff is turned on already, and a lot of stuff that is left is probably not going to be a problem. Like the map stuff should be good. So we'll see. We'll see how those work out. Alright, so maybe next time, which is probably going to be a few days, might even be a week before I can get back to this. I am pretty busy. But next time, hopefully, we can work through these little ones up here, like the forges and stuff, and then come down and just check out some of the armor stuff. Make sure that those, will at least load up in the forge and not crash us. That type of thing. You can overload your forge, and if that menu gets way too huge, you can crash your game based on that. But I have found that that's usually not an issue. It's usually not an issue. It's just if you really overdo it. I purposefully have overdone it in the past, but most of the times you're not going to add that much stuff, and that menu is pretty decent. So, all right. So since we couldn't get back into Bethesda, this is the best we're going to do. I don't know, this will probably end up being at least a couple of videos. So anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I will catch you later.
Stop! You violated the law. Pay the court a fine or serve your sentence. Your stolen goods are now forfeit.